Been live at the scene all morning, and we'll have more on that fire throughout the morning. I believe we're having some technical difficulties getting him here, so we'll go back to him with more on that in just a minute. But new this morning, charges are possible against a Seattle man after a car versus semi crash in Ottertail County. State troopers say the semi driver was going east in the westbound lane of the Highway 10 near Perham around 8 o'clock last night when he hit an SUV. Now, the semi driver was not hurt, but 4 people in the SUV were injured, although none of them seriously. Also new this morning, some North Fargo business owners will be assessing damage after a car smashed into their building overnight. Take a look. It happened just after 10 last night at 725 18th Street North. We are waiting to hear from Fargo PD about any injuries or what led up to that crash. 9 minutes before the top of the hour, we want to get a check of our forecast on this first alert weather day. Because when you step out the door, it's very okay if you decided to wear the hat and the gloves today, I think, Lisa.
Yeah, not only okay, it's recommended. It's going to be chilly out there, especially if you're going to be spending any length of time outside, maybe waiting out at the bus stop or maybe waiting for your car to warm up too. It's cold. We've got a freeze warning in effect for much of the valley and beyond. And if you're not under the warning, you're in a frost advisory this morning. So everybody on the cold side, temperatures are ranging from some upper 20s to some upper 30s. So there are lots of places starting off with freezing conditions, perhaps some frost where you are. Fargo's hit the freezing mark for the first time this season. In fact, we dropped below it, currently at 31, and it's 31 in Grand Forks. Our cold spot at the moment is 28 degrees in Foston right now. So it is chilly. And taking a look at your visibility, there are some pockets of fog too. We're at a visibility report of a quarter mile in Foston and back over into Cooperstown and surrounding areas, also seeing some lowering. So take it easy in those spots. Some of those colder surfaces might be a little frostier in those areas too, and want to watch out those bridge decks as well. Those tend to frost over this time of year sooner than the warm ground right now. So here's a look at your conditions right now. We're seeing some clear skies. There are some clouds up to the north and to the south, but most of the valley is seeing clear skies, and we'll end up with some sunshine today. And so waiting out at the bus stop this morning, yes, put on that extra layer, put on that thicker winter coat. Not necessarily the parka needed, but something to keep you warm for a little while here this morning with temperatures in the 30s. And then this afternoon, we start to turn things around. It's going to be a little bit warmer than recent days. We're looking at 50s to about 60 degrees and sunshine too. That'll be nice to have around for most of the valley as well. So some conditions that are improving with the wind turning southwesterly, and that will help to just pump in the warmer air, keep our temperatures from dropping as much tonight as they did overnight and this morning. So we're looking at mid 30s to some low 40s to start off your Thursday, and then we'll warm into the upper 60s for your high Thursday in Fargo with some sunshine. Next chance for rain comes Friday and into Saturday, and notice we see some 70s return. So it's been chilly, but it's nice to see that there's still some warm air coming our way.
All right, Lisa, thank you very much for keeping us updated on that chilly forecast. We want to go back to that breaking news that we first told you about just a few seconds ago. A Moorhead family out of their home after a fire overnight. The Valley Today's Brian Sherrod joins us live from the scene with what we know about that fire this morning. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Jordan. What we know from the Moorhead Fire Department was that this fire was deemed as accidental because of the misdisposing of smoking materials. That was actually the cause of this fire this morning. I want to move out the way so you can see a little bit of the damage from the outside. Now, they got the call around 1:45 from 415 Sunrise Circle. That's in the neighborhood near Sunset Lanes. Crews put out a small fire outside near the front door, which is what you can see on the very, very top. Now that we have a little bit more light outside, you can actually clearly see where all this smoke damage or all this fire damage is above the door, right the stairs. You can see it literally all around this area. We also know that there was smoke damage inside. You might not be able to visibly see it outside, but we can tell you that there are smoke damage inside. You know, we want to give you the biggest reminder right now about making sure that you have your fire safety tips in hand. Biggest thing we can tell you is make sure flammable things are at least 3 feet away. Your clothes, your carpets, but your curtains, make sure those are split up as well. We also want you to know to have a fire evacuation plan just in case.
All right, some good advice as we head into the colder season. Brian Sherrod reporting live. Thank you very much this morning. Fargo city leaders are questioning aerial spraying for mosquitoes in Cass County after hundreds of monarch butterflies were found dead after the last time they sprayed. Commissioner John Strand is looking for a solution and wants to know if there is also a risk for people and animals. The death of the butterflies is being investigated because the spray that Cass County Vector Control uses isn't supposed to kill the larger insects like butterflies. The Vector director says they did not do anything different as far as application, and everything was up to code.
The formulations and the products we use are absolutely the least toxic that we can find. Flea and tick washes contain permethrin. The Frontline and things like that contain some of the insecticides I had mentioned earlier. Head lice treatments for infants as young as 2 months of age, I believe, you can apply that directly to their scalps.
The director says that aerial spraying is the best way to take care of those large hordes of mosquitoes. It's faster, and he believes it's more effective at getting rid of those pests. It's now City Commission official. Fargo has a new police chief. Commissioners last night appointed David Zabalski to run the department. He'll be moving to Fargo early next month. He comes to the city having spent 27 years with Milwaukee's police department. And West Fargo's new police chief is now on the job. Dennis Ottertail was sworn in at last night's City Commission meeting. His wife and children joined him for the badge pinning ceremony. Ottertail takes over from Jerry Boyer, the acting interim chief. Ottertail is from Beach, North Dakota, and says it's great to be back around family and friends.
It was really just to kind of get a feel for the organization, where it's at now versus where it was, when I left back in '98. One thing I've learned is you can get a lot of great ideas from people from all levels of the organization, so I really want to sit down and kind of meet everybody.
Ottertail worked for the West Fargo Police Department from 1994 to 1998. West Fargo is now getting a new fire station. City commissioners last night approved plans to build a new headquarters at 1201 10th Avenue East. Fire Chief Dan Fuller says the current building once housed police and city utility offices, but it no longer has the space or proper facilities the growing department needs. Now, Chief Fuller says the current building has been in service for 80 years. There's a new major development in the works for the south side of Fargo. Epic Companies has plans to build off of I-94 at 45th Street. The design calls for multiple mixed-use buildings, each about 7 stories high. There'll be a parking ramp, affordable housing, green space, a bus stop, walking paths, and a skyway, among other features. No word on when they'll start construction. Enrollment numbers are out for Moorhead Public Schools. More than 7,000 students in grades K through 12 are enrolled. That's 66 students more than last year, and it continues the recent trend of high enrollment. A virtual learning model is also available for families desiring that full-time distance learning. There are currently 1,300 students enrolled in Spud Academy. Initial enrollment numbers show West Fargo Public Schools is now the second largest school district in North Dakota. There are more than 11,700 students in that school district. Historically, enrollment data fluctuates through September, and the official enrollment number will be submitted by the end of the month. Winona State University has quarantined itself for 2 weeks to slow the spread of the coronavirus. Officials aren't aware of any serious illness related to COVID-19 within the Winona State community, but they are seeing an increase in asymptomatic transmission affecting not only the campus, but the greater community. Let's get the answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. That question that we have today, 5% of people never leave home without this. The answer, well, it's that phone charger. You got to make sure you're always staying connected, so that way you can have the VNL News app and that First Alert weather app on you at all times. A reminder, it's cold out there today, so grab that jacket if you're headed outside. But the Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but the Valley today, it rolls on. We'll have more live up-to-the-minute news and weather for you on the Fargo CW.